glad you guys decided to take a look at this webinar, see what it's all about. I'm really excited to share with you guys how I can help you get more customers for your business. I know time is precious and I'm going to try to keep this to an hour. I am going to cram as much as I possibly can into that hour, even though I have so much more information to give. But I want you to be able to watch this and go straight from here and then go implement some of the things that we discuss in this hour-long webinar. With that being said, I want to be totally transparent and upfront because some of you may have watched these free webinars before only to like watch and you're half an hour into it and you're like, okay, when are they going to start telling me stuff? And then before you know it, they're just trying to sell you something. That is not this. I want to share everything I can with you guys. But there is a lot more that I can than I can cram into this 1 hour class. So at the end, there are a few options for services to purchase, ways that I can really help fast track a lot of this for you. Some of you may say, hey, no, I want to do this on my own. I want to try some stuff out. Others may be like, yes, I am so excited. And Lindsay, help me get this going as fast as possible. Save me some of the hassle. I want to buy one of your blueprints and get this going even faster. So totally up to you. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. And like I said, this 1 hour is going to be jam-packed full of information. It's not just a bunch of fluff and filler trying to sell you something. Honestly, I really just want to help you and share this knowledge that I have gained over the last, well, it's culmination of pretty much like 20 years of working, but the last 7.5 years of running my handmade business, showing you guys exactly what you need to do to get customers who want to buy your products. So if you guys are ready, I am ready. Let's get started. Okay, guys, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but I do want to give you a little bit of a background of who I am and what makes me qualified to be here sharing this information with you guys today. So rewind far back. I did graduate from college from Cal State Long Beach. I have a business degree in marketing, and I have worked in all kinds of industries in capacity of sales, advertising, account management, search engine marketing, website development, consulting. I've done it all. What I knew how to do really well was get customers to people. And I always knew with all these jobs that I had that I wanted to be my own boss and I wanted to have my own business. I just didn't have a clue what I was going to be selling. So fast forward to 7.5 years ago, that's when the idea for my handmade business kind of came to me, I guess definitely from a higher power, blessed me with that idea for sure. But I started out on Etsy. I built a website because I knew how to do that. And before you know it, I was getting orders and I really didn't know how to sew. And I was making these things that it was like, oh my gosh, I can't send this to customers. So I had to figure things out really, really quick. So from the beginning, I was able to bring customers and traffic to my site, to my Etsy store. I just had other problems like, okay, how am I going to fill these orders? So I want to share a little bit more background of what's gone on with the business over the last 7.5 years since I started out on Etsy. One more thing I wanted to touch on. I have watched, I don't know, probably thousands of videos on YouTube. I've watched tons of webinars. I've bought some. I've watched the free versions. I have Googled. I have done everything, trying out different methods and different tips, things that have evolved as far as the internet goes and search engine optimization over the years, because that has progressed quickly. Advertising, Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads. I have taken all of that information that I have tried and weeded out, and what I'm sharing with you guys is the stuff that works. I'm not going to tell you the stuff that doesn't work because obviously that's not going to help anyone. I am showing you the tried and true methods of what has helped me start and build a 6-figure revenue handmade business. This I did with less than $500 initially, and I built it to 6 figures in under 2 years. As I mentioned earlier, I started out on Etsy because that was I guess, the most practical thing I thought at the time, since it was kind of a new booming site. I was building a handmade business, so it was a perfect platform for me to get started on. But now I've scaled from there to Amazon, Walmart. I have had my own website since the beginning. I've just changed platforms to something that's a little more up to speed with what I need as far as traffic and order fulfillment. So I use Shopify. I've had wholesale accounts all over the world. Wholesale I did cut out a couple years ago just because it was so busy in other aspects. But I've been in stores in Dubai, Canada, South America, Mexico, have carried our products. Over the last 7 years, I've sold millions of dollars of product. I was able to buy an office building, hired independent contractors. I bought my first house, all with income from this business, something that I never would have imagined. And all of this while raising my two boys. I have a 7-year-old and well, almost, and a 4-year-old. They've been with me all the time. I take them, when I had the office, I took them to the office with me constantly, to school. I'm just a mom like a lot of you other moms. And then I've just been hustling my little booty off building this business. And yes, it takes a lot of hours, a lot. It's definitely, I spend way more time doing this than I would if I had a normal, say, 9 to 5 job. But the benefits over time are far outweigh it. Um, in the beginning, yes, I put in hours and I was working 16, 18-hour days. And as the years have gone on and things are more self-moving, I don't have to spend as much time doing things. And I get to travel. I get to enjoy being around my kids, coaching their soccer. So I know if I was able to do it, anybody can, guys. So I hope I haven't scared any of you away yet. Are you guys excited? Are you excited to learn what is going to help your business grow exponentially? Because I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So I know some of you might be thinking, okay, well, I am a multi-level marketing distributor, or I'm a hairstylist, I'm an artisan, a realtor, I'm a dentist, restaurant owner, job shipper, boutique owner, blogger, whatever it might be. Will this help me? Is what you're going to tell me, Lindsay, going to be able to help my business? Because your business may be totally different from mine. And the answer is yes. These are general, these are the foundation for any of these businesses, no matter if you have a service related business, product related business, a brick and mortar store. These are your foundation. So they will help any of you guys. Yes, there may be little tweaks you have to do depending on your industry, but this is going to give you a solid start. And you know what? Some of you may go through this and you're like, okay, I already knew all of this. You might be further along than some other ones who might be watching this, and that is totally okay. I've watched, like I said, a lot of webinars and heard a lot of different entrepreneurs, and I feel like every single one of them I have been able to take something away, some nugget of knowledge that I didn't have before, and some of those have been the most rewarding for me. So I hope you'll stick around and listen to what I've got to share with you guys. All right, so this may seem like a really obvious thing, but you'd be surprised at how many people I get messages from that have a business. They message me on Instagram and they're asking me for advice and how they can grow their business and get sales. And I ask them this simple question and they don't know. And not to knock them at all, because sometimes the easiest things to overlook are the most simple, because we try to, I feel like as humans, we just complicate things. But this is your most important question to ask yourself. Who are my customers? So this means who wants my product or service and who is going to be buying what I am selling. Am I selling to women? Am I selling to men? Am I selling to younger people? Am I selling to older people? Are parents more prone to buy this? What are the likes and dislikes of people that need my product or service? What are their interests? What are all of the things that make up your customer? So for me, my customer, I'm selling baby clothes. So obviously my customer is going to be either someone, the obvious one, someone that has a baby. But there are lots of other people that are going to be interested in what I'm selling too. People who know someone that is having a baby, grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends, pretty much anyone. Not saying I want to target everyone all of the time, but being aware of who will buy my product is super, super important. So I want you guys to think about with your product or service, who is your most important customer group? And you can jot it down. You may already know this and think it's obvious. I do suggest, I always like to take notes in these because I can go back later and say, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Or, just a little reminder. So if you guys have a pen and paper, go ahead and jot down who are your customers. Really think about this one, guys, okay? Okay, so now that you know who your customer is, you want to know, why will my ideal customer want to buy from me? Because there might be thousands of other stores or people selling the same thing that I am. So why and how are they going to pick me? So this is your identity. It's what differentiates you from your competition. What makes you different? Is it maybe your price? Is it your story, your background, your quality? The product. Maybe it is a very similar product, but yours has just a little something different. Your service. You might be a hairstylist, but you offer something extra than someone else who just goes to get a haircut. You offer a free shampoo, whatever it may be. Are you local? Are you local to your customer base? You want to sit down and write this down also, guys. Why would your ideal customer want to buy from you? And it might be multiple things. So jot all of those down because those are going to help you market yourself. And another little thing to think of, for me, this was relevant, but what problem does my product or service solve? This, if you're having a little tricky time kind of thinking of why your customers would want to buy from you, think of what problem does my product or service solve? We'll go with the hairstylist again. Most people go because they need a haircut or they want to look better. They want their hair to be nice. So you're solving a problem for them with your service. And that is also going to go into how you market your products to people through whatever type of advertising you do. In this specific webinar, I'm really focused on just organic search results, meaning not paid advertising. It's just showing up in Google, showing up on Pinterest, showing up on YouTube, showing up where people are going to be searching for what you are selling. So now that we know who our customer is and why they want to buy from us, we have to look at, where are we selling? Where are we selling what we are either making, buying, drop shipping, where we're providing our service? Are we selling from our website? Are you on Etsy? Are you on Amazon? Are you on Walmart? Are you selling from a physical store? I'm guessing a lot of you are probably going to be web-based. I may have some of you that do have physical locations, but I'm just going to guess that a lot of you are web-based. So you want to think of where you're selling. This is going to help when you are driving traffic to those places. Obviously, if people are doing a search online for, again, we'll go with a hairstylist. For a hairstylist, you're going to market yourself to be relevant in your local search area. You're not going to want to come up in Google if someone types in good hairstylists, because nobody from Florida is going to be coming to you in California to get your hair done, most likely, unless you're like the best of the best. So you are going to want to make the way that you are marketing yourself relevant to your physical location. So if you are in LA, or you are in Long Beach, or you're in Sacramento, you are going to want to market to people that are looking for your service in that area. And again, I know this seems really obvious, but I find a lot that people think that just bringing the most amount of traffic to their website or their social media profiles is going to bring them business. It's not. You could have 1 million followers on Instagram, but if you're a hairstylist in Lodi, California, and nobody lives there, nobody's going to be coming to you to get their hair done. So you have spent all of this time building this huge social media following, and you're not making any money from it because nobody's coming to you for your service. So it's not all about that. I think a lot of people get caught up in that stuff, and they're just seeing, oh, well, this other person's doing it, or my competition has, 20,000 followers. Honestly, all of that is irrelevant if they are not using that to turn those followers into revenue. So I want you guys to think about where you are selling. You may already be there. Some of you who are on this journey with us today through this webinar, you may not have started your business yet, and you're watching this in a very beginning stage. You might have your idea, but just weren't sure how to implement it. And I want you to think about where would be the most logical place for you to start selling. So obviously Etsy is going to be out of the way if you're not a handmade business, right? Amazon is really hard if to get into in the beginning. I recommend that after kind of trial and error from your own website. Same thing with Walmart. They have really strict policies for getting onto Walmart. So some of you may not be at that stage yet, but for a lot of you, if you're just starting, it's going to be your website. And I do recommend using Shopify for anyone starting out. I think it's one of the best. I've used Wix in the past, which is good for kind of a basic starter. I'd say I use that more if you're a physical location business, but if you really want to make a presence and be able to integrate with apps and really market the heck out of your site, I would suggest Shopify. Okay, so you're like, all right, Lindsay, great. I already have my own website and I'm selling my product on xyz.com. All right, so then what you need to do is think like your ideal customer. Put yourselves into the shoes of that ideal customer that we thought of earlier. This is what's going to assist you in creating your titles and keywords for your products that are going to bring you strong organic traffic. So how would your ideal customer be searching for what you are selling online? And this is another one where I said a lot of people think too broad because they want to bring a lot of traffic. But again, it doesn't matter if you bring a lot of traffic. It matters if you're bringing traffic of people that are going to buy from you. You could bring 100 people and none of them are really looking for what you're selling because you brought them there by a broad keyword. Again, hairstylist. So you have hairstylist as a keyword on your website, and someone just types hairstylist in Google and they happen to find you. If that person isn't local to you, they're not going to be coming to you. But if you have hairstylist in Lodi, California, and someone is looking for that in Google, chances are you're going to have a way better chance of converting that search into someone coming into your salon, paying you for the service that you offer. So you want to think of, really drill this down. You might start with these big ideas, but then narrow it down as narrow as you can possibly go. Going more with the hairstylist scenario, you might specialize in something. You might be really, really good at, I don't know, blowouts, or really, really good at color. So you might specialize in like funky colors. So if someone's looking for hairstylist that um, does good purple hair color, who knows? And that's a very, 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 very specific search. But again, if there is that one person that types that specific search into Google in your local area, and you have built your website to come up in a search for that keyword phrase, chances are that person is going to call you or come in, and you are going to be able to convert that one search into a paying customer for you. And that is valuable, guys. So this is something that you want to put a lot of time into, thinking like your ideal customer. Does that make sense? So again, the keywords are a basic foundation for getting you your organic traffic. It's the same as you're building a house. You start with your foundation. You cannot put your walls up until you've got that foundation. So this is going to be the backbone of your site. And this applies if you're selling, like I said, anywhere on a different platform, on Etsy or even Poshmark, anything like that, guys. The keywords are the most relevant because they are going to bring the people that are searching for what you're selling to you. So there are a ton of different ways and websites to assist you guys in your keyword formulation. What I recommend first is just, if you know Excel, awesome. I find that it's really easy and organized to manage this in an Excel spreadsheet. I would just go start typing any way that you think people might search for your product or service. So like I'd mentioned before, you're a local hairstylist in Lodi. So let's say, okay, hairstylist in Lodi, hair colorist in Lodi, Lodi hair salon, hair salons in Lodi, best hair salons in Lodi, best hairstylist in Lodi. Any of those variations, just type into a spreadsheet and keep going and thinking of as many as you can. And you might think it's a silly search phrase, but if you thought of it, that means there might be someone else thinking about it too. So nothing is silly. Write it, type it, keep it all down. Once you get that list, you could go somewhere like, I recommend if you're newer at this to go to Google Keyword Planner. It's free and it's super easy to use. You go to the Google Keyword Planner, type in one of those phrases. So say you're doing hairstylist in Lodi, it is going to populate different other search words that are relevant that Google has recorded of people searching related to that keyword phrase. It's going to tell you the volume of searches. It's going to give you other ideas, and then you can start compiling those other ideas into this same kind of master spreadsheet. And then type in all the different variations that you had initially come up with and see what alternatives it gives you. And whatever you believe is relevant to your business, put in that spreadsheet. This is like your holy grail Bible of keywords, guys. If you've already done that and you're a little bit further along and you want some more real competitive information, there are services like Merchant Words that you pay, and this really gives you a lot more data and information as far as keyword research goes. I use this. I've used it in the past. It's great. This was kind of my next step from Google Keyword Planner. And the other thing, look at your competitors. Look at their websites. What do they have on their website that you might be like, wow, oh, I didn't even think of that. Just look at them to spark ideas. I don't say look at competitors to copy. I don't like copycats, but you can find inspiration from anyone. And like I said, you might go to their website and say, oh my goodness, how did I not think of that? Like, that's so obvious. So get your master list of keywords. And remember, guys, the more drilled down and specific your keywords are, the better chance of converting into a sale. Quality over quantity. All right, guys, so here's another example. Different than our hairstylist example. You guys might be getting sick of that. So I'm going to take something kind of in the realm of baby products. That's the market I'm in. Let's say you are selling crochet hats for babies, right? So this right here is the Google Keyword Planner. So this is after I have typed in, as you up here, baby crochet hats. This is a pretty generic search term, but I wanted to show you guys what comes up in the Keyword Planner once you type in that initial keyword phrase. So it's telling me here, okay, there's 720 keyword ideas available. I'm obviously not going to show you guys all of those because that would take forever, but I wanted to just give you a little glimpse into what comes up. So if you go and you do this on your own after this webinar, it's not going to look totally foreign to you. So right here, this column says volume, right? This is showing you the search volume for this keyword, the baby crochet hats keyword phrase. So this is saying 9,900, and then it kind of goes down in a descending order from there. So if somebody, this is showing you that Google for average monthly search is 9,900 searches for this specific keyword phrase, crochet baby hat. These columns I'm not going to worry about with you guys yet. This is for more in-depth kind of training, but these are for advertising. So this is showing you your cost per click, saying if you were to advertise, your cost per click would be around 30 cents. It gives you kind of your competition ratio. The average monthly searches, again, this one's between 1 and 10,000. It's saying right here your 9,900 search volume, telling you the top of page bid. So this is on Google. If you come up on the top of the sponsored posts, what you would be looking to spend per ad, etc., for low and high. So there's a lot more in here. That is something we can totally get into later, but right now I just want to worry about this organic and search volume here. So crochet baby hat. Then you're going to go down and see baby hat crochet pattern. Well, if you're not selling patterns, then you're not going to be interested in this keyword idea, right? Because you don't want to bring someone who's searching for baby hat crochet pattern when you're selling baby hats. So that would be a waste pretty much of a person coming to your site. Somebody that's not interested in what you're selling. This would sound like somebody that's looking for a pattern that can make their own crochet baby hat. So they're not going to want to be buying yours. But here's a good relevant one, crochet newborn hat, crochet baby beanie. Here's another one with pattern. I would exclude that. Easy crochet baby hat, I would exclude that. And then down here where it's kind of hard to see, it says baby boy crochet hats. So I would take those few that are relevant and add that to our master list if we didn't already have it. And then what you would do is take those keywords later and say like baby boy crochet hats, then you would type that up here in the search box and see what alternatives it gives you. And see, this goes on, but you want a super extensive list of how people are going to search for you because this is going to grab you more potential customers coming to your website. So still with our crochet baby hat example, I took that from our keyword planner, that search alternative it gave us that had that $9,900, I mean, 90, that'd be nice, that 9,900 searches a month volume that is showing us right here. I typed that into a Google search box and I hit images. I'm doing an image search because I wanted to see what came up. Now this is a trick that I am going to delve in a little bit with you guys right now. I am one that likes to search by images when I am searching for specific products. I like to see it. I feel I'm very visual versus going through like a normal Google search where you're, looking at a description and reading a description of a website. I like to a lot of times go in and search for whatever I'm looking for and hit images and then see what pops up. So this is what pops up for that crochet baby hat example. Your goal is to be somewhere up here in this top, right? Eventually. Again, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you're doing this correctly, you will get there. This stuff up top, if you see right here, it says sponsored. These are all paid. And as you can see, a lot of them are from Etsy. Actually, all of them on this are from Etsy. So these are if you're familiar with Etsy, you can have enabled ads and you pay Etsy to then put your ads on Google for you. And then Google ranks them on their algorithms, etc. But that's what all of these are. So if you're not advertising and paying, then you're not going to be worried about this competition right now, all of these things here in the sponsored. You're going to worry about the images that pop up here. So if you use Shopify like I do, one of the awesome things is on every single image you put on your website, there is a field for you to type in, they call it alt text. And what that does is it tells Google if an image isn't able to pop up, or you might have someone that's visually impaired, it is going to have the text describing that image. So you want to make sure, and this is something not a lot of people do because A, it's time consuming, B, a lot of people don't even know about it. So you do this, you are going to definitely gain an edge on Google image searches. So you want to be putting your alt text in every single image you put on your website. I know you can do this on platforms like Wix as well. I'm just using Shopify as an example because that's what I suggest to use if you're have a product related business. So here you can see this first one is for an easy crochet baby hat for newborn. So this is something like a pattern. So this really isn't your competition because you're not competing with people that want patterns. You want to be competing with people that are selling hats, right? So this one looks like it's from another pattern, easy quick pattern, crochet newborn hat pattern. So a lot of these are all patterns. So what that tells me is that the people who are selling actual hats are not doing a good job. Your competition is not doing a good job of putting in their alt text to have their images pop up of actual products for sale. So imagine you start getting people going to your website, your site gets a little bit of traffic, and then boom, your images are telling Google, hey, I'm relevant. They're like raising their hand basically for this person searching, someone who's searching for crochet baby hat. Well, you have on your website, maybe it's a green crochet baby hat. So again, getting more specific. And you have in that alt text describing your picture, green crochet baby hat, and you can even add newborn and beanie and some of those other keywords. That way, anyone typing variations of those keywords, that image is going to populate here in Google. And hopefully someone is going to want to click on that image because they think your hat is totally awesome, right guys? Are you guys excited yet? Is this making sense? I really hope so. All right, so continuing on this keyword search term, crochet baby hat, I am now showing you just what pops up in a regular Google search. So before we did the image search, and now we're just doing a regular Google search. So you typed it into the Google search box, and this is what comes up. So Google brings you videos. Looks like these are all from YouTube, and it looks like most of these are showing you how to make a crochet baby hat. So if I'm shopping for an already done hat, all of this stuff is going to be irrelevant for me. Again, here, same thing, how to crochet a baby hat, step by step, 15 adorable baby hat crochet patterns. So all of this is going to be irrelevant to me if I'm searching for a crochet baby hat. So this is where what I was talking about earlier, really drilling down to be more specific comes in. So yes, I want this keyword phrase in my title, my description, my alt text of my images, but you are going to want to add more to this. So let's say I am selling specifically a blue, let's type that in there, blue crochet baby hat, right? So now that is going to be a lot more specific because I'm, as a somebody searching, I'm the customer. I typed in crochet baby hat to Google first, and I'm like, man, I'm not getting anything. There are no products here for me to buy. I don't want to know how to crochet a hat. I want a hat, and I am specifically looking for a blue crochet baby hat. So now this might be my next search, and that is what you want to think of when you are thinking of these keywords. What is that next step that person is going to do? So you start off with a pretty vague search term like crochet baby hat, and then you're drilling it down and adding in descriptors like blue, newborn blue crochet baby hat. And you want to make sure that exact phrase, again, is in your title, in your description, in your keywords, if you have a keyword box, depending on the platform you're selling in. Tags, like I had mentioned before, meta tags. So with Shopify, you have your tags. So you are going to put all of those descriptors also in your tags and your alt text. Now when Google is crawling through this data, all of this information, and it's going through all of these websites, and there's all these that are like, oh, how to crochet a baby hat pattern, da da da, and nothing is matching your exact phrase, well, then it gets to your website and it's like, oh, XYZ website, blue crochet baby hat. Okay, I am going to show this website to this shopper because they have specifically what this person is looking for. And that is how you start to bump yourself up in Google searches to ultimately end up on the first page, which is what I did with my business. I took, again, kind of the top keyword, which generic was boys' first birthday outfits. And it took me a lot of years, but I come up now on the first page of Google for boys' first birthday outfits. A lot of times in front of huge retailers like Target, Bye Bye Baby, Gap, Old Navy, because I have built a consistent reputation according to Google for people coming to my website and finding what they are looking for. So Google will show that to the shopper because it's relevant. And I've drilled it down much more specific than that as far as birthday themes. So if someone's looking for jungle first birthday outfit, a nautical first birthday outfit, whatever they might think of, I have added that into my titles, my descriptions, my keywords, my meta tags, my alt text, everywhere, so that Google says, wow, this product and this website are really, really relevant to what this person is searching for. And they kind of reward you is the way it works, for lack of a better term. They reward you and show your website to potential shoppers. All right, so to wrap up this crochet baby hat search term, let's just take a look at some basic numbers. So there were approximately, for this one search term, 9,900 searches a month. So if 1% of those searches found you and came to you, that could be 99 potential sales. Say you're selling your hat for $15. That's $1,485. And a 1% conversion rate is actually really conservative. And imagine you have this with hundreds upon hundreds of keywords, and over time you have built up enough ranking that you are showing up in the Google searches on, say, the first 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, just organically. This isn't even touching on if you were to advertise on these. Like I said, that's a whole other class I've got. But just on organic keywords, this would be pretty awesome, right, guys? How many of you could use that extra money every month? I know I could. Just a little bit of recapping now that we're kind of a little more than midway through. I think you should have a pretty good grasp of what the keywords are, and I know I've touched on it a couple times on where you want to put these keywords. So you have this Excel spreadsheet with hundreds upon hundreds of keyword phrases, and
Mom.
you need, and that's my little one over here. They're listening to me while I'm recording. You want to say hi, Nicholas?
Mom,
Yeah.
um, how come? Whose music is that?
See, guys, I really am. I'm doing this right here alongside my little kiddos. Anyways,
Mommy,
to get back on
I
track.
just said hi.
Yeah, sorry, guys. So to get back on track, you need to make sure that those keywords are consistently in your product titles, product descriptions, meta tags, alt text. So specifically, let's say green crochet hat. You want your title to reference green crochet newborn boy baby hat. Awesome, that's in your title. In your description, you want to also include those same words where you might, then you can elaborate a little. Handmade in the USA, green crochet baby hat, and then whatever else you want to say that might be descriptive, or as we were talking about before, kind of selling yourself. What makes you different? Why would I want to buy this green crochet hat from you versus anyone else selling this type of green crochet baby hat? The meta tags. These are that kind of back end data that Google is going to be looking for when they are trying to figure out what is relevant to show the person searching. So that is where you want, exactly as the keyword phrase comes up, green crochet baby hat. You want that all together in one tag. You can have hundreds of other tags where you type in different variations of that keyword. Again, that's a little bit more of an in-depth lesson, but just to give you a brief overview of how that's important. And then the alt text and images, that is what's going to get you guys that ranking. When people go to Google, they type in a keyword, green crochet baby hat, and search by images. That is what is going to get your images populated onto those first pages where people can be visually stimulated. So another thing we haven't really touched on, you want to make sure that your images are captivating and good quality and good lighting, especially if you're going to be spending the time on these keywords, trying to have your images come up in Google. You want someone, after they type in your keyword, to actually say, wow, that's a really awesome looking green crochet baby hat. And they click on it and go to your website. And then they read your description and say, wow, this is made in the USA and it's handmade. And it's handmade by a mom. Okay, I want to support this business. I want to buy this hat. That is how you are going to get your sales, guys. I could go on for hours and hours about keywords, guys, but for the sake of moving on and getting you the most information in the shortest amount of time, I'm going to move on from that. I do have a lot more information to give on the keywords, so after this video, there is an opportunity for you to look at that. But for now, with social media, it is your friend, but it can also be the biggest time killer. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see is people being so consumed trying to post and keep up with multiple social media profiles, because this in itself can be a full-time job. You could spend all day on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, marketing and trying to get followers and friends and to just get your business name out there. And at the end of the day, that's not going to bring you more sales or bring you more customers. And for someone like me that has a handmade business, I don't have the time to sit there and do that all day long when I'm actually physically making the product that I'm selling. My biggest time eater is me actually making the products that I'm selling, right? So I want to be extremely efficient when I am dealing with social media. So what I suggest is picking one or two social media platforms and stick to building and branding those. And honestly, two is kind of a lot, but when you're just starting out, or if you haven't done a lot with social media, two I think will be valuable for you guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this and how to figure out which one you should choose, which ones might be better for your specific business. But again, don't feel like you have to compete with all of those other people that might be your competition. Just because there might be a business similar to yours and you look on Instagram and you're like, oh my gosh, she has 100,000 followers. Well, that's great. She may have spent a lot of time and a lot of money building up to that, she or he, up to that 100,000 followers. But if those people aren't buying from her, aren't their targeted demographic, it doesn't matter. You could have 1,000,000 people. If no one's buying from you, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. You want to get the most quality ones that will actually be interested and want to buy from you. Remember, quality over quantity. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of the information that I'm sharing with you guys has come from my experience over the last 7.5 years with my specific business. And one of the biggest mistakes that I made was spending my time building up my Facebook followers and Instagram followers, because I thought, wow, other people that have a business like mine, that is what they're doing. They have all these followers. I need 10, 15, 20,000 followers on my Facebook for me to post to. So I was getting all these people following me. The problem is I wasn't seeing any sales from these followers. Yeah, I'd post and they would comment and like, but they wouldn't buy anything. And I spent tons of money on Facebook ads and tons of money on Instagram ads. And these two social media platforms were literally bringing in 2% of the traffic to my website from social media. Once I really delved into my analytics, which analytics is another thing that is super important, but I just don't have enough time to go over in this webinar, but that is another key part of this puzzle. But when I looked at my analytics and saw that Pinterest was sending 98% of my social media traffic, but I was literally spending probably 2% of the time on this. Like all of my time was spent on Instagram and Facebook and nothing on Pinterest. But here, Pinterest was sending me the people that were buying. So, of course, I had that aha moment and said, well, I'm not going to waste all these hours, the few precious hours that I do have, marketing and spending money on ads on Facebook and Instagram. I am going to transfer that time and energy to Pinterest. And that has been huge for me, guys. So I may look at a competitor that sells similar little boy onesies to me and they have 500,000 followers. But to me, I don't care because I know I am getting tons of traffic and sales from my Pinterest. And that does not matter to me because my followers were not bringing me money. Does that make sense, guys? All right, so I wanted to take this little snapshot, and like I mentioned before, kind of the word analytics. This is analytics specific to my Pinterest account, and these are basically measurements, guys, of the success of all of the hard work that you're doing. It shows you where you have room for improvement, shows you what you're doing well, what you should do more of. But this specifically is for my Pinterest. And what I did is I went ahead and I set the dates so that you could see from January of this year to July 19th of this year. What my Pinterest was doing basically. So it's telling you right here the average monthly viewers. So this is an average from January to July. And as you can see in January, I was pretty far down here. And once I really, like I said, had that aha moment that kind of happened like here, I started implementing what I'm telling you guys about. And wow, it just like increased. There was a little time around the holidays that I was super busy, so I wasn't spending as much time on Pinterest. It went down a little bit, then back up. But you can see that my viewership grew enormously from January, say, to even like April. But so the average over that time, average monthly viewers, 852,422. And the average monthly engaged, 32,387. So that is huge numbers. And if you look here, I just pulled this. This was for Tuesday, July 9th, 2019. So my average monthly viewers at that time was 978,157. So this changes, obviously, if I were to do the dates from, say, like April 1st to July, my average monthly viewers would be much higher because I've increased so much since January. So the averages would be higher. But then it's showing 38,051 engaged. So almost 1 million people, guys, a month viewing something on my Pinterest profile. 38,000 every single month engaged. That means repinning, clicking on a link, going to my website, buying a buyable product, any of those engagements. That is massive, and that is what has helped build my website into a very competing factor to the traffic that I get from, say, Amazon or Walmart. And this is with me spending zero money on ads on Pinterest. So I've been really getting everything in line and in order on here with my keywords and my descriptions and my titles and my Pinterest pins before I go full force and advertise on here. And I have really, really high expectations when I do start doing the ads. I just need to be able to fulfill the orders for that I'm getting because of the increase in advertising. Again, things you have to worry about when you're trying to scale. But right now I want you guys to just focus on these numbers here. 978,000 people. When I really realized that there were that many people coming onto the Pinterest profile that I'd created, I honestly couldn't believe it because I had listened and bought webinars from all these people talking about how to build your Pinterest and what tips and tricks. And some of them, they'd have 100,000 monthly viewers, 200,000 monthly viewers. And I was paying these people to give me information on how to build my own Pinterest profile when I'm sitting over here, like, oh my goodness, I'm almost at 1 million viewers. So I knew I was doing something right. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys as far as creating these pins that are relevant and looking at Pinterest as a search engine, not just like a fun tool. You are using Pinterest like you would Google. So every pin you want to be making relevant, thinking of who are my customers, how are they searching for me, and entering that information in the text portion of your pins. Make sense? All right, let's move on. Have I told you guys that I really, really, really love Pinterest? Have you gotten that vibe from me yet? Well, if not, I'm here to tell you again, Pinterest is amazing. And to me, it's just as important as Google and getting that organic traffic. If you use Pinterest properly and you use it like a search engine, that traffic is going to be some of the most valuable traffic that you get. So when I say use it like a search engine, what I'm meaning is in your pins, you don't just pin like a picture and then think, okay, people are going to come find my website or my product. So say you have that crochet hat, that green crochet hat that's on your website, and you're pinning it to Pinterest. You want to include your keywords and your relevant descriptions and your hashtags. You want to include all of that in your pin, because when people search and they're searching for cute baby hats, crochet baby hats, green baby hats, your pin is going to show up in those searches, and that is how you're going to bring people to your website to want to buy from you. Make sense? Okay, another thing with Pinterest, like I'm talking about, there are these more ready to purchase shoppers versus you go on Facebook and you just post a picture on your Facebook business page. You have your followers and you post a picture of your hat. You don't know if your followers have kids. You don't know if they would shop for kids. You have no idea if those followers are your ideal customers or if they want what you are selling. And a lot of this is dependent on how you initially built those followers, but most of the time when you're building followers on Facebook or Instagram, you're just trying to get numbers. You are not scrubbing those followers looking to see, oh, is this new follower someone that's really going to be engaged with my business and my product? So versus going on Pinterest and you have somebody that's actively searching for exactly what you are selling, that is a much easier sell than trying to convince someone that they need your product, right? Okay, moving on, guys. So I've shared a lot already, and we're almost an hour into this, and it would literally take me hours and hours and hours and probably months on. It would take me a really long time to be able to really delve deep into everything that can help your business. But I wanted to leave you with enough that you have a really, really good foundation to start implementing some of these things and seeing results. So just to review, one of the most important things to begin, you want to figure out how you would search for what you are selling. Put yourself in the shoes of your ideal customer. And again, guys, I want to apologize because my little kids are running around and you probably hear them in the background. But I have, like I said, got to work around them. They're with me all the time. So just one of the, it's a perk, but also maybe a little annoying to you guys. But I hope you can understand, since I think a lot of you might be moms and parents like me. Anyway, back to this. So you're figuring out how you would search for what you are selling. Number 2, make sure that your keywords are prominent in your titles, descriptions, meta tags, your alt text. So after you spend all that time doing that keyword research, really drilling down the search terms that are going to bring people to your business, you want to make sure that you are then putting that in all of the relevant places. Okay, number 3, you want to pick 1 or 2 social media platforms to focus on to drive traffic to your site and shop. If you have done a really good job of building those 1 or 2 social media platforms up and your business is a little farther along and you're doing really well revenue-wise and you're happy with where you're at, then yeah, by all means, you can delve into another and try to build that up. It's great to have multiple multiple sites and multiple links linking back into one core place. But in the beginning, you're just going to get overwhelmed. And I see a lot of people just get burnt out and say, I don't even want to do this. It's too hard. So that's why I say pick one or two to begin with. And then you want to post daily on those platforms to keep you relevant for their algorithms, whether it's Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook. You want to stay in touch. That's one thing when I was managing so many different ones, and even now I struggle to maintain, to post on, say, Instagram or Facebook, but I make sure that I'm constantly posting on Pinterest because that's the one that's bringing me the customers. So you want to post daily on the platforms, the one or two that you choose, to keep you relevant and fresh, right? And then 5, you want to constantly monitor your competition too to see what they are doing and stay ahead of the game, guys. Like I said, you're not looking at your competition to copy, but you're looking at your competition for inspiration to see what they're doing, to give you ideas for what maybe you can do better, right? And remember, this does not happen overnight. It takes consistency, it takes time, it takes hard work. And eventually, guys, it will build a sustainable business built for long-term success. I didn't want to build something that would be cool and be really, really awesome for a year and then be gone. And then I'm on to finding my next business. I wanted to build one that I could eventually build and leave for my kids if they wanted it one day. And that is what I'm showing you how to do. So this is not an overnight thing. You're not going to be making $10,000 tomorrow because you went and put some really cool pins out there or you fixed up your keywords. But you're going to see over time this consistently building. Because what happens when you get that one new customer? Well, that one new customer loves what you did or loves your service, loves your product. They tell somebody else. Well, then that person. So now you're dealing with word of mouth. You're also getting that new organic traffic. And you are only going to keep growing, guys. Is that exciting? I hope so, because it's exciting for me. All right, guys. So I hope I have hit you with a lot of really good information that maybe you didn't know about or maybe knew a little about but were kind of unsure. I hope I've given you something to walk away with from this, something that you didn't know before. If you did know everything, awesome. You are on the right track, and I do have a ton more information to give, but I obviously can't put that all into one-hour video. It would take me hours upon hours upon hours to really delve into this deep with you guys. So for those of you that are thinking, okay, Lindsay, this all is great, but like, how do I do all of this? You say, okay, just put these keywords in my titles and my descriptions and just make this pin. And you're like, I really don't know how to do it. I need a little bit more help. Well, as I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, I would have other resources available at the end for purchase. And these resources don't leave anything out. They're really me walking beside you, showing you exactly what steps to take specific to your product or service. So they delve a lot deeper into this with kind of the step-by-step of how to really implement a lot of what I was talking about. If you decide not to purchase anything, I am okay with that. Like I said, I hope you have been able to take something to then go try and implement. And I know if you do, you will see results. And I hope that you just continue building on that. I will go into a little bit what other services I do offer. And if you guys want to stick with me, you can kind of see what that's all about. All right, real quick, I want to start by clarifying the packages that I'm about to show you are my DIY marketing blueprints. So these are basically it's a step-by-step guide. There are 3 different versions, which I'll go over in a second, but they are for you to follow and then implement on your own. So some of the work I do as far as research and things like that, I take some of those steps out. But for the most part, this is you taking and investing that time into your business and just following these tried and true methods that I've done rather than, wasting time going and watching, 100 more 500 more, however many YouTube videos on how to do something, or how to get traffic to your website, how to grow your business, how to get clients, whatever it may be. I know I have watched myself, honestly, hundreds of different webinars. I've bought different courses. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars over the last 10 years on learning, trying to stay kind of hip to what's going on new in technology and be in the forefront of the game, if you will. So my knowledge is a culmination of my experience and the businesses that I've built, all of the clients that I've helped, and I am now going to be giving that to you in these DIY blueprints. Some of you, this may not be what you want or need. You might already have a business that's busy and you're just looking to scale it, to grow it even more, and you just don't know what those next steps are. That's where I offer full service marketing. I do all kinds of, website design, logo design, graphic design, search engine optimization. I help with blogging. I help with social media management, ad campaigns, ad design, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all the stuff I've mentioned before. I offer those services, and those are services that I actually do for you. And some of those might be a one-time service. Some of those are recurring on a monthly basis. So that is totally different pricing. And for that, I go over what exactly each client's needs are. And then we talk about pricing on that. I do have a general guideline that can kind of show you over on my website what certain things might cost or what you might expect to pay for certain services. But like I said, every business is unique and it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. So for the services, the work that I will actually do, so that's where you focus on your business, providing the service that you need or whatever it may be. And then on the back end, I handle kind of all the nitty gritty stuff for you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pop on to the next slide and go over pricing for my DIY blueprints, guys. These are those step-by-step instructions for you to follow on how to grow your business. All right, so follow me on to the next slide. So as you can see, guys, I have 3 different price points here. And remember, any of these are an investment into your business. You will see this back very quickly, I promise you. So starting with my basic guide, it's a general marketing blueprint, not specific to industry. So this is something that anyone can use, kind of taking what we've learned a little bit here, but really going more in depth. I cover more analytics. I cover advertising on Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, driving alternate ways of traffic with your blog. So it goes into a lot of stuff that I was not able to cover here. And it's compiling things that would take you months and months and months and months of researching to get and weed out what actually is really going to help you. So that I do, guys. It's $97. I have next, it's industry specific marketing blueprint. So what that is depending on what industry I work with you, you tell me, hey, Lindsay, I am a hairstylist. I give you specific keywords and a specific blueprint on that industry. So it's a little more in depth, a little bit more targeted. It takes some of that work out of it for you that the basic doesn't cover, and for that it's $197. And then if you want like the most in-depth blueprint that I offer, that is a business specific marketing plan for you. So I look at your business, what you have done already, and I tell you what to do to get those sales rolling in, where you're lacking, where you can do better, what you're doing well, all of the things that I would do to get your business set on autopilot and just bringing that traffic to you, right? That is $397. So I hope that there's something in there for you guys, and I really look forward to continuing to work with you. I do share tons of free valuable information, but if you're like, I want to get started on this, Lindsay, help me. I want to start, I want to build a 6-figure business. I want the financial freedom, I want to work from home, then hopefully you guys take a look and one of these packages works out for you. All right, guys, so here is some information on where you can follow me, how you can contact me. I do post a lot of really informative videos on YouTube on all kinds of different marketing subjects and industries. I go over starting a business totally from scratch. So no matter what point in your business journey you are in, I have something for you. And you guys can go check out my website if you're looking for information. Like I had mentioned previously, maybe you're not wanting this whole DIY method, that you want to hire someone to handle certain aspects of your marketing for you. Maybe you need a new website built, maybe you need social media marketing, you need graphic design, logo design, whatever it might be. You can head on over to marketingyouagency.com and contact me there and get some more information on exactly, and let me know exactly what you are needing if these DIY methods are not for you. All right, thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye-bye.